What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your transfer view. What's going on? First of all, do you know what I'm saying? New debut. Well, not really new debut. Not really new debut. Marcel's on the fan views live at the games, but you know we had to get him involved as well with some of the stuff behind the screen. Man, what are you saying, bro?
I'm good, thank you, man. How have you been? How have you been, Flex, man? Welcome, everyone. I'm finally here.
Finally, a lot of people. Do you know what? A lot of people on your fan views always say that guy knows what he's talking about, man. Get him on. I said, I don't know, man. Don't know if he knows what he's talking about. I'm not really sure.
I've played a little bit. I've played a little bit. Like I've played at a decent level, so I'm all right. I know kind of a bit of what I'm talking about. But the comments have bigged me up quite a lot. I can't lie. It's nice.
They do. There you go. Exactly, man. This is what the community is about, man. Big up Marcel, says Will Chan. The streets requested and Fleck made it happen, says Will Chan. Exactly. There you go. There you go, man. That's what it's about. Before we start with the Cavani situation, before we get on to forward of 2021 and a little bit of transfer news from what Ralph Rangnick has said, it is the time you've all been waiting for. The competition winners. All right. The stuff's down there. I can't really be bothered to go over there and reach for it, but you guys know what it was. A box of Man United goodies. All right. Full of training wear from size small, medium, large is all in there. So there's something for everyone in there. You can win that. An unsigned Ronaldo shirt, Champions League, with all the badges on it. Yeah, there's that to win. And an appearance on the Flex and KG show as well. You can win that. So there's 3 opportunities to win something. We have picked 3 people at random. And these are the YouTube accounts that have done it, that have won, okay? The winners are Brush, Alpha Eagle, and I hope I've pronounced this right, Minel Manana. Okay, so that's Brush, Alpha Eagle, Minel Manana. All you have to do, okay, is give us a DM on the United View Instagram account to claim your prize. Okay, that's all you have to do. So I'll say it one more time in case you go, I missed it. The winners of the competition are Brush, Alpha Eagle, and Minel Manana. All you have to do is drop us a DM on the United View Instagram account, and we will get those prizes out to you as well. Big up to Josh. There you go. Josh is in the chat as well. So the competition winners have been announced. Now let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We've got a lot to talk about, Marcel. We've got a lot to get into. Rangnick, Cavani going nowhere. He in his press conference, which happened after the Burnley game because they did a quick turnaround. He was asked about Cavani. We heard some little rumors about the Barcelona situation. They come knocking on the door. A lot of people had their say, but it's not, you know, after Burnley, some people were putting up videos when he was kind of saying bye to the East Stand, or he was waving and putting a heart up, but I didn't take it as he was leaving. I didn't. Some people thought it could be. And then I told him, Ralph Rangnick says, I told him how important he is to us, and he knows I will not let him leave in January. What's your thoughts initially on that?
We don't even know. He could still end up going. You never know. It just could be media speculation, that kind of thing, you know, trying to encourage him to stay. But I don't think he would.
Ralph said this one, though. Ralph actually said it.
Oh, he said it himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, Ralph has now said, yeah.
This is perfect news then. This is perfect news. You don't want to get rid of, you know, a guy that's playing well for us right now. Come on, Flex, man. Look at the strikers that we have. You know, out of the strikers that we have, who's playing better than Cavani right now consistently? When he comes on, he's affecting the games, scoring goals. And if it's not 90 minutes that you're playing, when you're coming on, we need an impact, especially towards the end of the games, because we're tailing off a little bit towards end of games. You know, we're playing good first halves or good 30 minutes, and then second half spells are looking a bit meaty. They're not as good as the first half spells. Cavani's, you know, we need him for the rest of the season, unless we're going to be able to go to the market and get someone, Flex.
Yeah, exactly. And with look, he said about Martial, which we'll get onto in more depth in a little bit. But long story short, he said Martial's not injured. He's just, you don't want to be here, so he ain't involved. He's going to leave. For me, as soon as we would it was even a thing about Cavani potentially leaving or Barca sniffing around, I was like, well, I was like, there's no chance in hell we could let him go. And there were people sort of saying about his injury record and how available is he. And some people, I've done a show on it, and a lot of people in the comments were saying, you know, Cavani scored a few goals for us, and all of a sudden he's a hero. Forget it. He's hardly fit. Let him go if he wants to go. And a lot of the other comments were sort of saying, no, let's keep him. And it was quite mixed. And Theo Hines says Cavani was poor last game, though. Yeah, he wasn't his sparkling best, but he worked tirelessly off the ball. He
Oh,
wasn't poor. He
yeah.
wasn't
I
poor.
don't.
I would say he was
Yeah.
poor.
Oh, I disagree with that. I don't think he was poor.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, he's one of them players where, okay, he's poor this game, but the next game, I'm pretty sure he'll put in a performance. He's a senior player, Flex, man. He knows what he needs to do in terms of, how to play the front line. And he's a good player, and he will continue to show that throughout the rest of the season. We
Do you have
need
any
that kind of
concerns
player.
about the injury thing, though? Like, when people are like, listen, you can't even rely on him. Do you have any concerns about that
Nah,
for the
not at
remainder of the
all.
season?
Not at all, because we've got to manage his minutes anyway. And at some point, Rashford, I believe that at some point Rashford will come into his own. So he'll be on the bench for periods anyway. It's just a matter of fact that right now, while Rashford's not playing well, Greenwood's still coming into his own a little bit. We need Cavani in there to trust the senior player to deliver the performances and be in the right positions at the right times. So
Yeah, exactly. And you look at how look at how he plays. Yeah, he probably epitomizes exactly what Ralph Rangnick wants from his players within this system in terms of that press, that intensity, mixed with the experience as well.
100%.
He said he's a highly important player. Quote.
Imagine, yeah, under Ollie, he wanted something from Martial during last season. He was talking about getting them little tap-ins, having that kind of personality to be in the box a lot. This is the perfect kind of player. We just need these younger players to look at what Cavani's movement is, how he plays the game, and just try and pick up pointers from it. But and the longer you have that kind of experienced head in the club, the other players will pick things up off him. So you don't want to get rid of him now. Wait until the end of the
Nah.
season. And then we can get rid of a player as experienced as Cavani anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, because it just leaves us too short, especially at this stage of the season. It leaves us too short. It'll be a silly move. You got Martial about to leave. You got big games coming up. Atletico Madrid in February.
Yeah,
You just can't let him go. You can't. He's actually too good. He's actually too good to let go. Like, let's just be real. Yeah, he might get injured, but if he's fit, he's our best striker along with Ronaldo. Like, he is. Like, before Ronaldo come, we was that. I know there was concerns about his fitness, and I understand that, but he's pound for pound our best striker, number 9.
Out and out striker, out and out. Yeah, number 9, out and out. Because Ronaldo loves this drifting out to the left. He loves this kind of drifting out to the left and just trying to roam the front line however he wants to, which is fine. But sometimes we need a focal point, a number 9 to just stay in that box and work with whatever comes to him and trust that the other players around are going to deliver that for him. So and Cavani does that well, man. He had a couple little link ups with Sancho. Sancho comes up in the right areas and finds him a lot. It's just last game it was a difficult one for him, I think.
It was, because no one really the game kind of it was like a weird, we were in control ish. But it wasn't like a super dominant, but De Gea didn't have to make save. Like, do you know what I mean? He didn't. So in that sense, you're saying you're limiting them having big chances. It's just that we weren't on it as much as we would want to. So I feel like, for my own personal, like, selfish reasons as well, the reason why I wanted to keep Cavani is because I just wanted to see what he could do in this system up front with Ronaldo. I remember when, even when Ronaldo signed and Oli was still here and Cavani weren't fit yet, it was like, we got to find a way to get Cavani on that pitch with Ronaldo, whether that's a 4-4-2 or something like what we're seeing now, because those two together, vastly experienced, is key. And look, one's 34, one's 36 in it, I think. 34-year-old. It's not, you don't want to get into the situation where you're asking two 34-year-olds to have to play week in, week out for the whole 90 minutes. Ronaldo's a bit of a different case because he is probably fit enough to play 2-3 games a week, 90 minutes. He can. But Cavani definitely can't. Do you know what I mean? We got to manage him, and that's where, like you said, Rashford can come in with a game up front with Ronaldo, or Greenwood could have a go up there. Maybe even put Bruno in one of the games, like up front with one of them. Just off the front. Yeah, he plays like that anyway. I'd do that. If he wanted to change the shape, maybe not in the 4-2-2 formation, but if he wanted to change the shape for a game and just go with one up front and Bruno hovering in just behind, like what we used to see of Bruno, but play it in a more tailed back way where we're not giving.
Do you think Cavani can play in the 2? Do you think we
Yeah.
get more performances out of him as the one sole striker, or with
Um,
a partner?
I think he's versatile enough to lead the line by himself, which we've seen
Yeah,
him do. But he's
yeah,
clever enough to also play in a two. Like he was clever enough even at PSG to play from the left. Do you know what I mean? When he had to
yeah,
move when
yeah, yeah,
Zlatan come, he's been versatile for his career.
yeah.
So
Mm,
whether it's a out and out nine, Ralph was some of the quotes he was saying was, he's a player who can play with his back to goal. He
yes.
understands the position in central areas. And if you're asking someone like Ronaldo to initiate press, I think putting someone like Cavani next to him to help out and occupy defenders is definitely something that we need. Me personally, I think it's brilliant news. I think it's good that Ralph has actually just said he knows I ain't letting him go. He basically said, "Bro, you're not going anywhere, even if you want to. we're
Signs
not
of a
letting
good
you go."
manager. Signs of a good
Yeah,
manager. Signs of a
because
good
that's what
manager.
we need, bro. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to hear this like maybe and we'll have to wait and see and stuff like that. No, come out and say he's important to what we're doing. Tell him that he's going to play most games because I think he should.
Mm.
And let's see where we get with him. But the quotes coming out from Ralph about him were pretty strong. Were pretty strong. I'm just trying to get the actual quotes of what he said as well. This is all about Donny. There you go. I saw. This is what Ralph says. He says, I know from some players that they want to leave. Yes, our squad is maybe a little bit too big with regards to numbers, but we still have COVID. We have 3 competitions, and I think we could do with a bigger squad than maybe in times without COVID. So that's interesting. He's basically saying a few men in there are saying they do want to leave. So that's what
Yeah.
Dean Henderson probably, obviously Martial, Mata.
Tuanzebe.
Tuanzebe's going to go to Napoli. That's pretty much done.
Yeah.
You're looking at Donny van de Beek might be knocking on his door saying, look, I'm still not playing. But moving on to Donny, the next part of it, quotes from Ralph. He said he spoke to him and he says, look, this is Radnik on Van der Beek. So far as I have got to know him, he's got a top mentality. He works hard in every training session. He's a team player through and through. And there will be games where he will get his chance to play, I'm sure. And he also says, I also had a longer conversation with him last week about that. And of course, it's difficult for him right now because he wants to play for the Dutch national team. And in order to do that, he needs more game time.
Needs more game time, yeah.
But I still believe we should keep him, that he should stay here definitely until the end of the season and try to get as much game time as he possibly can. Do you believe that? Because we saw we saw this under Oli. Oli used to say this.
I mean, nobody's trying to pick him right now, and when he is playing, he's not playing with the first team players, so you're not getting to gel with the first team players. He played the Champions League game, was the last game I think he played in, and then he played in the FA Cup against West Ham, where I think he was at fault for that goal. He was at fault for that goal, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he gave the ball away. Yeah, and the guy stuck it in the top corner. Oh no,
that
was Young Boys.
It was
Young Boys.
That's
Sorry.
Young Boys. Worldy finish.
Yeah,
finish that always. But then with West Ham, it was he left Lanzini, and then Lanzini is the one that just gets the cut back, and Lanzini puts it away.
Yeah, Fredericks went past flipping. What's his face? Tellez.
Yeah. So but it's like I don't know. He's not getting a chance, Flex, to play with the first team players. And as a player, that must be annoying, frustrating to you, especially if you consider yourself a top player. At the beginning of the season against Southampton, I said to you on one of the shows, on one of the fan views, that we should be playing 2 8s and a 6. In that shape, Donny, I think, sees plenty more football in that shape. So I don't know. Like every week, it's either Scott or McTominay. Scott or Fred. Yeah. Scott or Fred. Sorry. Or it's Matic in there. So I don't know how he's going to be able to do it. But at some point, Donny needs to get more minutes. And if he doesn't get the more minutes, he's going to leave, man. He's going to leave. And that's a good.
There's no way he gets into the World Cup squad if it's like this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he's a 10. I honestly think Donny's a 10. And the problem was Bruno was there and he was playing out of his, he's playing out the world, out of his skin. So then now Bruno's not really playing that well. Donny should be getting the minutes, replacing Bruno. And then that will give Bruno the headache and encourage him to play better. Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, and it's just not something we're seeing. I can't see how he gets in. Super chat here from A says, not letting Henderson and Cavani leave after saying the player can go if they don't want to stay. Contradiction much? Question mark. I don't think it's different. I feel like with the Pogba situation and with the Martial situation, definitely Martial came out and said, "I don't want to be here." I don't think it's fair to say that Cavani has come out and openly said, "I want to leave." I don't. We don't have that information. I don't know. I don't know if he knocked on Ralph's door and said, "Listen, I wouldn't mind going Barca." And Ralph said, "Nah, listen, you're my guy. Now you're fit. I just needed to get you fit, and now you are. You're going to be the main guy. You're not going anywhere." I don't know whether he blocked
Martial's
it.
situation is different as well.
Way different.
Martial's been a player. Every time it was his time to be that forward line player, another top player comes in. Ibrahimovic comes in, or another player that is in competition with him and is going to take his minutes comes in. It's a bit different. And then and Henderson's been waiting for a long time, you know, for that number one spot. At some stage, I really thought he was going to get the opportunity. So I don't know. Their situations maybe is a little bit different. And then Pogba is a whole different story.
His thing's always different to everyone.
Yeah.
Caston says, first time here, so happy. Welcome to Community, Caston. Welcome to United Views. First time you've seen us. Big up to you. But back to the Donny situation. Bro, he's not going to play. He's not going to play. He's not going to play. There's going to be games. Yes, he might come off the bench, little 10 minutes. I would say, I bet you, so what? We got January, February, March, April, May. 5 months, yeah? I bet you in 5 months, Donny doesn't start more than 5 games.
Oh, well, Aston Villa is coming up, FA Cup.
FA Cup. That's what I'm saying. Because even if we get through the FA Cup, bro, it's 4 rounds. What's that? 3rd round, 4th round, quarter-final, semi-final. That's 4. If it's only FA Cup. All right then. Let's take out all competitions, yeah. Because bro, Donny's not starting the Champions League. He's not. Away to Atletico, home to Atletico. Unless there's a mad injury thing. Of course.
He's played in the Champions League. So then what's going, like, why? So is he not good enough? What is he doing in training? Is Fred and Scott McTominay just outstanding in training to the point where we're like, you know what, they've got do we trust them that much? And this is other managers as well, you know. Other managers are picking them to ahead of Donny. So is it, and Bruno, in fact, ahead of Donny? So then what is it? Are they showing things that Donny just is not showing? Because us as fans, we like Donny on the pitch. We want to see him on the pitch.
But they all say he's training well, bro. What's really crazy about the curious case of Donny van der Beek, yeah, is that the two managers are saying he's a lovely guy. Like, his temperament is good. He's a top professional. And yeah, he's not rearing out his neck and being loud and being vocal. Yes, his agent actually did, though, start saying we asked for the Everton loan in the summer. And Ollie basically said no. Donny himself did speak about it with Rio, sort of saying there were some conversations, but I spoke with Ollie and he assured me that, you know, it's best to stay here and play and all that. Yeah. So, you know, he's not someone who upsets the apple cart, but he ain't. I always say managers can say whatever they want to say in media briefings. This guy's great. This guy's amazing. This player that. Oh, they got so much this. They got so much of that. Bro, if it comes to Saturday at 5:30 or Saturday 12:30, whenever we're playing, yeah, and this guy is not in your starting 11 more times than not, and more times than not on top of that, he's not even the first person to be brought on. Done out here for a long period of time as well. That's what that is the truth of where a player really is at.
I agree with you totally, and that's the thing. You know, we spent, how much did we spend on him? You know,
35 million.
We went into the market, but we looked at him as being an upgrade on what we already had.
Yeah,
we looked at him being the
Oh, he should be.
Well, the way he sees the game and plays the game, he's definitely got something that a lot of other players don't have in the team right now. So why we're not trying to utilize that and fit that into the group of players is beyond me. But again, this is a new manager now that's doing it, so I have to trust what the manager can see and his system, how he wants to play his system. I just feel like Donny would be good in one of the left attacking mid or right attacking mid places. But
one of the 10s, 100% he'd be good there.
Yeah, he'd be good.
But how weird is that? Because even when he did give Donny a
game,
did he give? Yeah, it was
Champions League.
Yeah, it was DM.
And he played.
And he changed the formation from the 4-2-2. He played it right. Yeah, I know he gave the ball away for the goal, but it wasn't the 4-2-2 formation. He played Donny in a single pivot, and then he played Jesse and Mata ahead of him.
Is it?
Do you remember he changed the formation for that game?
I think he might have. You're right.
He did 100% because It was it
But
was Greenwood
I
up
saw
front.
Donny coming back a lot
Ahmad
and
and
dictating the
Alanga.
play.
Ahmad and Alanga on the wings.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Or was Donny in the sitting too? No, he wasn't. Was Donny? Let me get that team up. I swear he changed it. It was Donny sitting by himself in a single pivot.
I feel like it was a 2-2 because I saw it was Matic and somebody else in the back line. Eric Bailly and Matic, I think, in the back line.
Mm.
Just trying to think who the 4 midfielders are, just so that we're right. Yeah.
Young boys.
But he played in the DM anyway. He played in the central defensive mid area and he played all right.
Yeah, he did. It was just that. Yeah, it was a 4-1-4-1. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, Matic played centre back. That was it. Matic played centre back with Bailly. That's what happened. And Donny was just ahead of them by himself. And then you had Mata and Lingard ahead of him. Yeah, I knew it. And Alanga on the left. Alanga on the left, and Diallo.
So he was playing as the one to pick up the ball.
He was playing as one, bruv. Yeah, he was playing as one. I remember. He was playing as one.
Yeah.
And I remember going.
He played it well. He played it well. He made a couple big tackles in that game as well. He played all right. It's just why are you not getting the opportunity to play with the first team players to see how the first team players make their moves, connect with understand their game. So like you said, from time you're one of those players that are not one of the first subbed on the pitch. Delo was last game, I believe. Yeah. Was it Delo? Or was Varane?
Yeah, it was Delo ahead of Rashford and Varane come on. Delo come on in the inside 10 position over Donny and over Rashford in that game.
Wow. Do you get it? So it's just that shows a lot. And as a player, you're thinking to yourself, when am I going to get the opportunity to play? It was even worse under Ollie as well. It felt 100%. Even worse anyway. So
it just hasn't been that long under Ralph yet. It's only been like 5 games.
Yeah. But if they're promising him minutes, I really, really hope that he gets minutes.
If I was him, if I was him, I'll just think, whatever, mate. You're talking shit. Like you've done this to me before. I've heard this before. But it's a new manager. Hopefully, Ralph does.
What do you think happens under the next manager? The next manager comes in, whoever it is. Do you think Donny gets minutes under the next manager? Because we're assuming Ralph is here for 6 months, and then somebody else comes in. And I feel like when that next person comes in, they're gonna play the 4-3-3. And they should be playing the 4-3-3. So then,
it depends, innit? If it's Pochettino, then I would say he's got a chance. If it's Pochettino, I'd say he might have a chance. He liked him. Yeah. He spoke about him in that run when he was at Tottenham. What a good player he is. If it's Ten Hag, again, he might have a chance.
I think he plays under Ten Hag, and I think it is Ten Hag. If I'm honest,
he should. Yeah. I think we should be going. And if it is, like you said, he's got the highest chance of playing with the Ajax situation. But I don't know, man. At this point, I don't know what the truth is on him. A says, because Super Chat, thanks for the contribution, says, Flex, Cavani's dad said enough about how his son wants to leave, wants to compete for important trophies, direct quotes. He did say that, to be fair, at that time. But that was under Ollie, and then it got squashed, and then he stayed. And then Ollie was the one who convinced him to stay in the summer, and he stayed and signed an extension and said he was happy to do that. So I think that the situation changed a little bit. It's a bit different to Cavani's dad saying it now and him being blocked. That was in a different period. And it was actually before Ronaldo. It was actually before Ronaldo came that we secured Cavani. Do you know what I mean? Santiago says, do you think people upstairs influence the starting 11?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw Saeed on Twitter said, he said this is on the board? Because I think someone said it's the same under Ralph. Ralph's still not picking him. We all blamed Ollie saying, why is he not picking this guy? Ralph's come in and hasn't really changed anything. He's gone with McTominay and Fred as well. Mourinho went with McTominay and Fred as well at times. So what are we saying here? Like, really, 3 managers have gone with McTominay and Fred. So what are we missing as fans?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what's happening in training at the end of the day? You know,
but they're all saying he trains amazing, but they must not think he's better than McTominay and Fred. They must not think that he gives the energy and the passion and the desire, those Ollie quotes. But clearly, they don't think he's enough of a combative player in there to fancy him to run the midfield. Because all 3 managers have said nah. Yeah.
Those attributes of the Premier League, though, isn't it? Combative and strong, aggressive.
There you go.
When you look at Donny, do you really see that over maybe a Scott and a Fred? Not as much. So then maybe just gone with the safe bet and said, you know what, we need to shore up everything. I need somebody that's gonna go put in heavy tackles, run and chase players down. It's Scott and Fred. And Matic, if you want somebody a bit more physical or somebody a bit stronger.
Yeah. But, go on. Yeah, go ahead.
Nah,
Matt M says title race in all Europe's league top 5 leagues is over in January. This proves the Super League is necessary. Definitely don't agree with that. We don't need the Super League at the expense of anything. I don't care if the 2 top teams were flipping 50 points clear. I don't care. There should never be any Super League. In my opinion.
Promotion and relegation always. Promotion and relegation.
100%. That Super League thing was absolute fast. This is interesting because I don't think this is necessarily what you think. Ishak says, Marcel, why? Oh, no, this is what you think.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
I read it wrong. I misread it. I thought it was, why do you rate Martial? Here we go. Let's get into it. Ishak says, Marcel,
wow, how do you
why
know?
don't you rate Martial with the eyes? Just to quickly lead into that before Marcel takes that question on Martial, Rangnick confirmed that the reason why Martial is not playing isn't because he's injured, it's because he don't want to be here. So we're basically sorted out a move. Marcel, why don't you rate Martial?
Imagine that, Flex. Just to start, look, imagine I'm talking about a player that doesn't even want to play for us. So that should just be that should be the point in itself. He doesn't even want to play for us. But at the beginning of the season, or not at the beginning of the season, maybe the second or third game against Southampton, I said to you, he is not a number 9 for this club, not for this club. You know, a number 9 to me for Manchester United, they're scoring 15 to 25 a season. That's my expectation of them. And when last has Martial done that? And in that game against Southampton, there was a moment where he was back to goal, and we were talking about Cavani's game back to goal, and he was so weak. But defenders were bullying Martial back to goal. His best position is a wide player, and I have so many, and it's left wing as well. And for Man United, we had Rashford at the point last season, who was playing brilliantly with Luke Shaw. The combinations, I really like their combinations. And right now, we've got Sancho there. So I don't need Martial. I've already got 2 left wingers. That's it. That's why it's not that I don't rate him. Lots of his goals, if you check all the goals that he scored for us, it comes off from the left wing. His game is very good off the left wing. He wants to show us how good he is on the ball. As a striker, there's a lot of points in the game where you're starved of possession. You just have to be in the right moments and focus being in the right moments. And he's not good at that. He's just terrible at it. So I just need him to be sold and us, use that money for somebody else that's a focal point striker. So that's why
I feel like, I remember that first game. I think that was one of the first times you come on the channel. It could have been your first, actually. I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was the second game of the season, isn't it? Yeah. Southampton away. Yeah. I think that was the first time you came on there. Yeah. And I remember leaving that interview, and I was like, right, that guy went in. He wasn't feeling Martial at all. I remember saying that. And the comments said it at the time as well. And I have to agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, my Martial thing is that I've loved him. I think like a lot of Man United fans, I've endeared myself to him. Definitely.
Big goals against Liverpool.
Scored some big goals. Everton, do you know what I mean? That semi-final, I think back to that. He's had some big moments, and he's had 2 good seasons. He has had, 2 good seasons. But when I just look at him, do I look at him and think he's going to go somewhere else and just be a Haaland? Like, oh my God, why did we let this guy go? Look how many goals he's scoring now. I don't think he will ever be that. I don't.
But even bigger than that, do I look at him and I think, is he going to be a Berber class number 9 for us? Is he going to be a Carlos Tevez? Is he going to be a Wayne Rooney? Is he going to be a Ruud van Nistelrooy? None of these. He's not going to be any of these. So why am I wasting time?
I agree.
Why am I wasting
It sounds
time?
harsh, but no, it's true. It's true. And then when you look at, and then the problem that you've got is the people that have come in ahead of him. So when we was all, and this is me kind of looking back on it now in hindsight, because I was part of the Martial FC, 100%. Loved the guy. But when you think about it, the guys that were coming in ahead of him at the time, Ibrahimovic, certified bagsman, scored loads of goals. Yeah. Then Lukaku, certified bagsman. Like, I know it went to shit towards the end of his stay, but he scored a lot of goals. And he's
we would like a lot. We would want a Romelu right now. How about that?
Exactly. A proper in-form, fit and fight. The Romelu that was at Inter, just banging it up. I know people say it's in Inter and it's not this, it's not that. It's an easy league, whatever. If we play the right system for Lukaku, he's an absolute bagsman. He's got limitations in his game. I get it. And I'm not saying we weren't wrong to move on from him, but I'm just saying he's a better striker than Martial by a million miles.
Yes.
By a million miles. Then you look at Cavani came in. Better striker than Martial, million miles.
Yes.
Ronaldo, million miles. Every person that we've had that's come in as a number 9 has been better than him. That first season where Alexis left and Lukaku left in the same window, and Ollie went, no problem. Martial's going to be back to 9. I trust him. And Mason Greenwood's going to score goals. This kid's going to score goals. And that season they did. Mason Greenwood had like 17 goals in his first season, in his breakthrough season that year. And Martial had probably his best scoring return ever. I think it was like 24. I think he scored with no pens. I think 23, something like that. He had a really good season. Then after that, it went to shit again. So, look, I just think the time has come for us to kind of mutually part ways. He's in his 7th season. We can't have anything on our hands that says, but what if? Maybe we're just going to unlock this. Maybe we're going to It's seven seasons. He's in 7th year.
Seasons. Yeah.
So
and I haven't seen him do 20 goals in all, not in all comps, just in the Prem. Or 15. Has he scored 15 in the Prem? 15 goals.
Well,
So
this is interesting. Jamie says Cavani is our best number 9 since Van Nistelrooy. And who is definitely not agreeing with what me and you say. This is what I love about the community. A says none of Lukaku, Zlatan, Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood have outscored Tony's best season in the Prem. Look it up. But you want trampoline touch Lukaku back. Sometimes it ain't even just about. Listen, fair enough. If you think so, basically, what are you saying? Are you saying forget Cavani, forget Ronaldo, forget the players that we just mentioned, make Martial your number 9? Is that what you're saying, I want to know. I do want to know. Would you bank your house on that? Because
innit? And on top of that, you're talking about just one season's worth of work. These men have put in season after season after season of a portfolio of work. So you're asking Martial to beat his best season again compared to these guys' portfolio of work. That just doesn't make sense to me. These are guaranteed goal scorers that you just put up there. Rashford and Greenwood, okay, not so much. But Zlatan and Lukaku are guaranteed goal scorers. Martial is not a guaranteed goal scorer. His best season, I would like to know what his best season was in terms of return in the Prem. His goals return in the Prem.
I'll pull it up now. I'll pull it up maybe while we get on to the next thing. I think it was like 17, something like that.
17.
Let's pull it up.
That's a good return.
Martial. Yeah, but that was once out of all of them seasons, where I know he wasn't always a number 9 though, to be fair. That's the side. If you're looking at both sides of it, he wasn't always a 9. I'll give him that. So there you go. His best Premier League return in terms of goals. There you go, 17 goals. There you go. And that was in the 1920 season. That was the one I was talking about where he had his best season. So his Premier League goals have been this. Since 15-16, he scored 11 goals in the Prem. This is just Premier League, 11 goals in the Prem. Then the season after that, he scored 4 in the Prem in 25. The season after that, 17-18, 30 appearances, 9 goals. 18-19, 27 appearances, 10 goals. 19-20, 32 appearances, 17 goals. Then 2020-2021, 22 appearances, 4 goals. And obviously this season he's played 7, scored 1. So he's never been prolific, and that is a mixture of on the left, up front. I mean, the seasons that he actually played up front, I would probably say was 19-20, 2021, and 15-16. 16-17, 17-18. And none of them really were, apart from the 19-21 was the stellar one. And even as a winger, I just think he's blown hot and cold a lot of the time. I like him. He has got ability. He is very good on the ball, very good touch, very clever. And when he's when he's confident, he can be a really good player.
He's very skillful. He's very skillful, Flex. But at the end of the day, are you a 20-goal season man? You're not. You're not. And we need prolific. I need a Haaland that just, no matter how you're feeling, under the weather, sad, sick, however, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. It's goals that you're going to deliver when you're in and around that box. He hasn't got that. He hasn't even got that knack for where you're trying to get yourself in between that little space between the last defender and the goalie. The movement. He hasn't got that.
The movement.
So you're not going to get the tap-ins. You're not going to get the lazy tap-ins, or when it hits off your shoulder, or running into the box and flicking it in. Like Lewandowski scores plenty of those. You know, we just don't have a striker like that. And it's been a very long time since we've had a striker like that.
And that's exactly what Cavani is as well. Cavani is that. You know what I mean? Leon says, no comebacks. We're meant to be moving forward. #restart. And Tabara says, big up you guys. Keep up the awesome work. Big up to you, Tabaras. We definitely will, bro. Appreciate that. And I think we've read all the super chats before we move on. A lot of love for Martial in the comments, though. I will say that. There is. And, you know, I understand that. He's a lot of people's favorite players. And as someone said, I think Ralph should at least give him a chance. And I think if he didn't go and see Ralph straight away, I think he does give him a chance. I think if he didn't go receive Ralph straight away and say, I don't want to be here, he would be given a chance. Because I'll tell you what, Rashford, and some people have spoke about that, Rashford's been playing horrendously. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Oh,
and you know what? Their numbers together, Rashford and Martial, very similar in the same amount of time. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not out here trying to act like Martial, it's all on him and stuff. Rashford in the same time has probably put up similar numbers. You know, let's not dress that up. But it's because obviously Rashford hasn't come out and said he wants to leave. I get it. So if Martial wanted to stay, I would definitely want to see what he would be like in this formation. It'd be nice to see him maybe up front with Ronaldo. That'll be all right.
What do you think about Martial's pressing game? And we're asking for a dragon press, because I don't see that either. I don't see that. He has a lethargic attitude towards going to hunt down the ball up there, and I don't.
Yeah, when you watch him, you can see it.
When you watch him, you can see it. And compared to Rashford, Rashford seems like a player. Right now, he's not doing it. Doing it. Again, he's playing absolutely diabolical right now. But you can see that he's kind of a player that has it in him, that wants to go and hunt down the ball. Martial's not like that.
I think that I do think that I've seen him a lot of time coasting through games. With Rashford, I've said this many times. I do believe that Martial is a better footballer than him in terms of with his feet. I do. I believe that. I believe that the way he thinks and understands the game is probably at a higher level to Martial. But the difference with Rashford is that you ask a right back who they would want to play against more, and I think they'll tell you Martial. I think they'd say, I've spoken to pros who have played against both, and they've all of them have told me, listen, Flex, when Rashford is in full flight and he's at it and he's making them quick decisions and he's on it, he said to me, different level. I'm not going to say, some of them you know who they are, but I don't need to go. I've spoken to other players who've been on the pitch with Rashford, and they all say it. I'm not saying he's playing well enough now, and I'm not saying he's brilliant, because I think he's leaving a lot to be desired for right now. His form right now and his decision making has been absolutely shocking. But and even his work rate at the moment, his intensity has gone. It's like he's strutting about the pitch, and I don't like it. But in general, what I'm saying is when they're both at it, he makes runs, which is why I'm so frustrated now. He makes runs. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll move on from that. But Martial, look, I like the kid. I like him. I wanted it to work out. And if he wanted to stay and play, if he wanted to stay and play, I would have been behind it. I would have wanted to see what he could have done up front with a Cavani or up front with a Ronaldo in that 2 up front. I would have really have liked to seen that. But you don't want to be here. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't want to be here and we go and get that kid, Julian Alvarez, potentially 19 million. Again, I don't profess to know loads about him, but if you're going to go and get another player who's going to fit the profile, who's going to fit the style, who has the attributes that you want in terms of this press and this high energy, then fair enough. Then I back the club of whatever decision they're going to make, or Ralph. Leon says, Martial pressing, rubbish. What the hell was that? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't go together, does it? It doesn't go together. And A says, appearances stats aren't a fair reflection unless he started every game. Martial has a goal involvement every 136 minutes for Man United in his career. A is really riding out for Martial.
I respect it.
Yeah, that's it. Go the full way, man. Go the full way. Go the full way.
Do you think you can press though?
It depends. Exactly. Stats aren't a fair reflection unless you started, but then you're using a stat in terms of goal involvement every 136 minutes, which is a stat to justify why he's good then. So stats can look, and this is no criticism, I love this. This is what it's about, getting your opinion out there and us talking about it. But stats can be used to legitimize or illegitimize any argument you want to make.
Yeah, it gives the power to whoever
pick the stat you want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For me, I just go on the eye test with what I see with my own eyes at the games every time over a long sample size, over a big sample size. Martial's played a hell of a lot of games, and that's the conclusion. I'm not going to let any stats make me go, but actually his goals to games ratio is all right, or his finishing conversion rate's quite good. I don't see him work hard enough in intensity, and I don't see the consistency in his goal scoring. I just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? Even in the system. And A says, also, I want him to go. Death threats to his wife and kid unless he leaves Manchester. Abuse from fans and media. Good luck, Anto. What? I didn't know if he was getting that. Getting that. That's shocking.
No, I do feel like there was something happening in terms of race or something. And he did have an issue off the pitch with his missus or something. That one.
Yeah, he did. But I think A is basically saying death threats to his wife and kids unless he leaves Manchester. Like people are saying, you better leave.
Threaten him, like you better leave.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, obviously, if that is one thing about this, if he does leave, that's what I'm saying. I wish him all the best, 100%.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
idiots who call themselves fans are doing that bullshit, then they're disgusting anyway.
You can
and
criticize anyone. You can
100%.
criticize anyone, Flex. But at the end of the day, if they put on the shirt and they support and you're a fan of this club, you want them to do well. Whoever it is, I might have my opinion on Martial, but if he starts next week, I want him to score, and I'm going to be the first one.
Which he ain't starting next week. I hear you. Yeah,
but I'm going to be the first one to celebrate his goal because it's the club that's bigger than any sort of player. But that's crazy for someone deeper to be doing that. Well, it's not crazy, but it's ignorant.
Yeah, no, it is crazy, bro. Yeah. Hove says I'd play Sancho left wing next to Tony at home. Rashford bench. Okay, interesting. But I just don't think we're going to see Martial ever again. I think it's done.
Yeah.
A says his wife shared the death threats. Club put security at his house. Wow, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Wow.
Obviously, we're talking about him as a player, and my opinion stands. But obviously, that should not happen to any player.
That shouldn't happen to any player.
Say the same thing when people are trying to get into Phil Jones and do all that kind of thing. Like, yeah, he's a bit of a meme and stuff like that. People have a laugh, but I do think it goes overboard sometimes. It's pinned in the chat, guys. It's pinned in the chat. Who is United's best forward of 2021? Hit the link in the pinned chat to go to the community page and have your say. It's been up for 43 minutes. We've got over 2,000 votes. You've got Ronaldo, Rashford, Greenwood, Cavani, and Martial. Before I share with you, Marcel, who is winning, who gets your vote for the forward of 2021? Obviously, calendar year.
Yeah, so then that's part of last season.
There you go. From January to now.
You would have put Greenwood in there, scored bangers, left foot, right foot. You would have put Rashford maybe in there. Rashford was playing well, consistent. I don't know. I would say Ronaldo simply because of the efforts that that he's brought this season. In terms of Champions League. When he came first against Newcastle in the beginning of the league. Someone's saying Cavani. I like Cavani.
A lot of people saying Cavani.
I like Cavani. I do like Cavani. And I liked his goal against Spurs away and his whole link-up play. I really like Cavani. But I can't see how you look past Ronaldo. I would like to put Greenwood in there, but for me, it's going to be between Ronaldo and Greenwood, and I'll say Ronaldo.
A says, anyway, Flex, keep up the good work. I'm riding out as the media just like to say he's crap, and we as a fan channel can be more critical and fair. Appreciate that. Listen, the media are always on some agenda type bullshit with a lot of players, the way that things are being reported and stuff like that. We've seen that. So massive respect to you, A. Really good getting involved in the community as well. Really appreciated your point of view, bro.
No,
Havoc says, any news on a CDM, or is that every manager talks? On the last video I done this morning, actually, or so 1 p.m. today, I spoke a little bit about that. So check that out because there was a little bit about Ralph Rangnick wanting a central defensive midfielder. MUFC now says, so on you, the eye test, guys. No stats, just eyes. Who is the better player? No boundaries, no stats, just who is better? Answer. Please answer. Who? Out of who? Do you mean
who?
MUFC now. Do you mean? Yeah. Do you mean Rashford? Do you mean? Yeah. I think they mean Rashford and Martial.
Or Martial.
I think they mean that. I think so. I'll wait for them to confirm. I'll wait for them. That's
a really good question, though. If it's between them,
it's a really good question. Exactly. We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. It has to be Ronaldo for me.
Yeah.
Forward to 2021. I know he's only been here since August, but Cavani came in and had a big impact last year, 100%.
Yeah.
Then he got injured. I think it was at a midway point, I want to say, but he did have a spell out. Cavani brought a lot, and I like what he done. Almost like a bit of a cult hero already. He's got his own song, endeared himself to the fan, works tirelessly, scored some big goals. Ronaldo single-handedly got us out the Champions League group this year. Without Ronaldo, and I'm not saying he's been perfect in every game, but without his goals this year, where would we be? We would have a new manager in the Europa League if Ronaldo wasn't there. Do you know what I mean?
And he's
Those goals.
He scored worldies as well. He scored a couple worldies against Tottenham. The coming over his head, that technique. He scored some
Brilliant
good
goal.
goals.
Brilliant goal. The one in the last minute against Atalanta away,
Atalanta.
the volley.
Yeah.
It flicked up against I think Greenwood flicked it to him. Ball popped up, bang. Not entitled to score it at all. The header against Villarreal. Was it Villarreal or was it Atlanta at home? Can't remember. I think it was Villarreal.
Could have been Atalanta. There was two Atalanta games where he scores the last minute one and a Villarreal game.
Oh, actually, the Villarreal one was when Lingard set it to him and he scored with his foot. And the Atalanta at home was the header, Luke Shaw cross. So I'm gonna go with Ronaldo. Big mention though to Cavani. I would have went with him if Ronaldo didn't single-handedly get us out of the Champions League. Because really, if we weren't in the Champions League right now, FA Cup, you can say that, but our season would have been over. We're way off the league from ages ago. The Champions League is the one what we're looking at saying. I know people can say, but we ain't got a chance of realistically winning it. Look how good the other teams. I know that, but we're there in it. We've got a two-legged tie against Atletico Madrid. Do you know what I'm saying? Atletico Madrid, big game that's going to be. But we're there because of his goals. So MUFC now comes back and says Rash or Tony. It is Rashford or Tony.
It is a big question.
They have, what are you saying, Marcel? Who's the better player, Rashford or Tony, Marcel?
Well,
no stats. He said no stats, no nothing. Just he said eye test. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Rash, man. For me personally, it's Rash. I think is any of them gonna become like a world-class footballer? I don't know. I don't think so. Because Martial had like a clause in his contract at one point for Ballon d'Or. That hasn't really come along. And Rash's game, he's still got a lot more work to do. Like, he hasn't become a top level player. Like, I'm waiting to see the development come through. But if I'm just comparing the two, Rashford breaks more lines. He's a lot quicker maybe than Martial. He takes maybe a lot more shots. But then I would give Martial the dribbling aspect of the game. Very good with his feet, the 1v1s. I prefer Martial's game in that aspect. On the wing, I think it's going to be more Martial. But you can play Rashford on the left wing and on the right wing. I think you can mainly only play Martial on the left. Up front, I think it's got to be Rash simply because he can break lines a lot better. He can run past plays a lot quicker. In the air, I think he's going to be a bit more better than Martial. So overall, from what I'm seeing as well, it's going to be Rash.
I feel like so Naja Farad says without Ronaldo we are out of the Champions League, nowhere near top 4 as well. Yeah, agreed. And Nathan says Flex, you're right to a certain degree. Yes, he has scored, but let's not act like he was like we wasn't scoring goals last season. I agree. I think you're talking about Ronaldo. I agree. I do agree. We were scoring goals last season. Like I said, Cavani scored some big goals last season.
Yeah,
the 2
and
against
clever
Southampton,
ones as well. Yeah,
really clever goals.
Clever goals.
Clever goals. The 2 against Southampton, I remember early in the season. He scored that amazing goal against Everton, left foot. I think it was Carling Cup, or was it FA Cup quarterfinal, whatever it was. Bang. Game was heading to extra time. It could have been in extra time. I can't remember. Bang, left foot. He scored a wicked goal at the end of the season against Fulham that lobbed the keeper. Remember that one?
Halfway line.
He scored a wicked goal in the Champions League against Roma to get us back into the game. Top bins. I think that was 2-2. So yeah, he scored some big goals last year. He scored in the Europa League final as well. Yes, it was a tap in, but he got us back in that game where you thought that. I remember in the stadium, man. That 10 minutes after he got the equaliser against Villarreal in the Europa League final, I thought, this is it. We're banging on the door. We're gonna come back.
We're gonna come back.
Obviously we know what happened, but yeah. So listen, honorary mention to
100%
to Cavani. Easily could have been him. To people who did vote him, I can see why. So Nigel Farrar says we still have something to play for thanks to Ronnie. Agreed. I agree. That's why I went with him. A says Tony's back again. Tony says A says Tony won Golden Boy.
I like this guy.
Pretend it's the Ballon d'Or. Pretend it's the Ballon d'Or. Big up A. He's not letting it lie. And Digimon 14 says I don't like a starting lineup with Cavani and Ronaldo and Greenwood in the team. The balance is off with these 3 number 9s. Greenwood and Ron just look to shoot. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, Greenwood's got a lot of adapting to do to play as an inside 10. 100%. Because Greenwood is a player who, even as a number 9, out and out number 9, I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah,
I still
yes,
think his
yeah,
best position is probably wide right. That's probably his best
yes,
position as it
yes.
stands. I know he wants to be a striker. He possesses some of the abilities to do it, but just not right now. He needs a lot of development in that area. Back to goal, learning how to look after the ball, how to link up the play. But when he's on the right, obviously he's got that freedom to go left or right, get at defenders, come infield, come in on his left foot, whip a cross in, or unleash a snapshot on either foot and can get defenders not knowing which way he's going to go. So I feel like right now in this stage of early in his career, his best position is then. So I do agree with what Digimon's saying to a point of like when you look at maybe Greenwood, Ronaldo, and Cavani all playing at the same time, they might be all kind of 9s who want to play in a certain way. And Greenwood is out of that, playing in one of the inside 10 positions, is the one who has to adapt his game most, because obviously the other two up front. So I agree with that. And Havit says, I'm crying to see Bailly with Varane and a new CDM in which we may be able to add Donny. Kessie will be a free agent and suits the high press. What are you saying to that?
It's good. Yeah, he's good. Kessie's good. But Eric and Varane both are not fit enough. We're dying to see players that are just not. Would they be able to play 10 games together? Will they be fit enough to play 10 games together? That's the question. If you can get them fit, then I think it's a good combination, to be honest with you. I was saying Declan Rice in the DM. I think we need to get someone like Declan Rice in there, or Calvin Phillips. But Kessie's good as well, man. People are saying Basuma as well. What do you think about Basuma?
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Basuma. I think he's an upgrade. I think he's a bit of an upgrade on Fred. I do. I like what Fred does, but again, we need better. We need better. We know that we need better than both of him and McTominay.
One DM or 2, because that's the philosophy that we're working with right now.
I think it's really hard, and only the club will know this. They need to. Pogba's going to leave, innit? I mean, well, so? I do. I think he's going to leave. Not now. Not in January. Not in January.
I think we're going to manage somehow to get him to stay. That's besides the point. Anyway,
what, and sign a new deal?
I think so. I think that's coming. I still every time I go to the ground, I just have this feeling like, you know what, he's going to stay. We'll convince him to stay, and then the new manager comes in. He plays the one DM. That's why I was asking you whether it's 1 or 2. And then he becomes one of the 8s. And then we have a world-class midfielder there. It's just we just need to understand whether we're going to go forward with 2 DMs or the 1, and then progress on from there, I think. And hopefully he signs once he sees the quality around him. He will sign.
Ray S says the team doesn't miss Pogba, so sell him. In my opinion, it could literally conversely to what you just said. I think it's interesting with Pogba because football can change so quickly. Yeah, because say we get to the end of the season and we get Ten Hag, let's argument's sake, yeah, and a new manager comes in and says, Paul, sign a new deal. I'm gonna do what you're saying. I'm playing a 4-3-3. You're gonna play in the inside left of that 3.
That's his position. And
then someone else is going to play holding. We've got this new defensive midfielder who's going to hold. Then to the right of you is going to be, I don't know, Donny or Bruno or whoever it's going to be. And you're going to be the guy. And he convinces him. I don't. That's like a dream scenario. Yeah. The reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because I just don't think another version of Man United can be resold to Pogba. I don't. I just think he's let it run down with a mixture of injury, coronavirus, clubs not really coming in, and player power. He's let it run down for a whole host of those reasons. But I think he gets to the end of the season, plays a few games under Rangnick, probably has a couple of good games, couple of shit games, and then I think he just slides out. Honestly, I do. I think he slides out. People are saying there's a little bit of an echo. I don't know if it's because you've got it too loud. If you could just turn down your volume. Not on your mic, but on your on your headphones or something. I think the feedback's coming back a little bit. So as long as you can still hear me,
yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, there's no echo now. I think it's gone.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna go. Yeah, I do.
I hope not, because we need a player like him in the team, man. Physical, tall stature. Can connect play the long passes. It takes so much away from, the responsibility on being on Bruno when Pogba's in the team. So, and then who else in the market can you get that's like that? You know,
No,
that
if
has.
Pogba leaves, you can't get a like for like. You'd have to just get another attacking midfielder or two kind of multifunctional midfielders to say, okay, Bruno
Milinkovic
can go back
Savic.
to. Yeah, I don't know if that ship sailed, man. I remember
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we was
Remember,
in
that's what I'm just thinking in my head.
2019 in summer, we wanted him bad before we got
Yeah,
Bruno. I remember being on
yeah.
tour in Australia and China, and every transfer video we were doing at the time was just all
Milinkovic.
Milinkovic Savic. Yeah, for ages. I mean, we never did to get him, and then it just, I feel like that might have gone. MUFC now says, in everything, your man, as in Marcel, just said Tony is better than Rashford in all categories. He's back again. Oh no, it's not saying guys, as MUFC now. All categories, smarter, better in the air, better finisher, quicker on the ball, and stronger. So basically saying that you said Martial you're done with, but when you between who? No, you said Rashford.
I said Rash.
Yeah,
what to say? I
he
said
said
Rash in
Rashford.
all those
Yeah, that's
areas.
true. That's true. Actually, don't put words in Marcel's mouth, man. Come on.
Yeah, I said Rash, but
He did say
and I
that.
only
He did
said
say that.
Martial being a better dribbler.
Yeah,
Martial's a
true.
better dribbler for sure. But
Yeah,
in every other category, I would give it to Rash. I think for sure.
yeah. Kaka 2000 says Pogba is the most overrated player ever. Do you think Pogba's
Wow.
overrated?
What he offers in France is because of the players around him. He's got Kante, who's basically two players can anticipate play and stuff, and he's allowed to express himself because of that. And I feel like, so I don't think he's overrated. It's just that what we want him to do, we want him to be like an all-action, Toure, Vieira kind of guy. You know, he can do. He's going forward, he's world class, and
It's not
going back,
intense
he's
enough
world
for me,
class.
Pogba. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
intense
not.
enough.
But you have to appreciate that is who he is. And to facilitate that kind of player, you have to have a defensive midfielder. A Roy Keane would be perfect for a player like Pogba, because now he knows he knows now.
You
He's
mean
got
to play?
instruction
You mean to play with?
to play with. Yeah,
I thought you meant as a manager, like to get him
nah.
going again.
Even that, yeah. even then, Flex.
Bro,
Even
Pogba
then,
and Roy
yeah.
Keane? Nah. I ain't trying to
Yes,
see that, bro.
it would change so
I
much
ain't
of
trying to
his
see that, man.
philosophy and how he thinks as a player. But I'm talking about just as a DM, you want as an 8 and somebody behind you as a DM, you want them to be able to understand the space as well that you're leaving behind, so that you can go out and take the risks. And when you have someone like Kante, but that's 100% something that you want. So for France, he plays brilliantly. That's why I wouldn't say he's overrated. He just needs somebody to facilitate him at Man United.
He does need a facilitator. He does need a
Yeah.
different team. At the same time, though, I do see a little bit of why is it? I get a bit fed up with the Pogba. Like, there's always something needing to unlock him. Like, why can't he just unlock him? Not unlock himself, because I know the team ain't perfect. Playing alongside McTominay or Fred, I get it. But when I just look at his own game, if I'm being completely honest, I mean, Pogba over the last year or so has been patchy. It actually, his whole time at Man United has always been patchy. Like, even if the whole team's not playing very well, I've never been able to look at Pogba over his time when the team's even playing shit and say, but at least he's taking care of his own performance. He's not losing the ball in silly areas. He's playing quickly. He's playing sharp. I see Pogba a bit wanting too much time in midfield a lot of the time, like not playing with the urgency. And it could be a system thing because when you've got the great Kante next to you at international level, but international football's completely different, man. Like, it's played at a different pace. It's played with the top draw players. Harry Maguire looks good for England, for God's sake, and look how good Liverpool is for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, that show, if that don't show us that international football's a different game, then I don't know what does. But I just look at Pogba, and when I put my hand on my heart and I get away from I will always protect him in terms of if he's getting a rough ride because they're trying to paint him out to be some party animal who drinks alcohol and that when he doesn't. He gets flash haircuts and wears nice clothes. I don't care about any of that. I want him to express himself. He's doing dances with his family. 100%, I'm there for that. But I'm still able to look at it, like I said, with my eyes. I like the eye test. When I look at Pogba on the ball, is he playing with that intensity or is he kind of strutting? Is he just kind of strutting and coasting through some games? And I think sometimes he is.
I agree with you. He is. But, even for Juventus, he had the Pirlo. He had Pirlo there. Do you get it? So he always had somebody play. And then he had Vidal next to him energy and
There you
dynamism.
go,
And then he
Marquisio,
could
players
be,
like that.
yeah, so he needs players to facilitate to allow him to create and be the kind of player that he is. If you do not get that around him, you're asking him to do jobs that he's not as good. He doesn't have the defensive ilk. He's not smart. He's not very good defensively. And when you're playing two DMs, you're asking him to be a big part of that responsibility in protecting the back four. That's not all.
And that's not his game. And that's the issue with him as a midfielder. And this is what I mean, though. But as a midfielder, it's like I think he'll be better off just as almost like an attacking midfielder, actually out the way, almost as high
as a
up the pitch
10
as Bruno. Maybe not directly as a 10, but somewhere in the final third as an attacking midfield, if it's inside left with the license to roam, because his defensive responsibility, his defensive awareness is non-existent, horrendous. People bypass him all the time. I saw Ward Prowse. I've seen players like Ward Prowse stick it on him. I've seen players like I have honestly. I remember Southampton. I remember that game was in lockdown. I think we come back to win the game, but it was the first after Project Restart. It was Ward Prowse and Romeu. They stuck it on him. They pressed him at Old Trafford, nicked it off him, and they went and scored. Armstrong, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then they scored. Like, that just epitomizes it. MUFC says I was countering Marcel. Okay, so when he comes
so he's saying that everybody's Martial's better than all categories except for pace and something.
Yeah, I think he's countering you, Wow. Ben says Pogba is Martial in midfield, talent without output. Interesting. Wow. And Sanajal Faraj says the British press and pundits are xenophobic, sadly. And Digimon 14 says Pogba has had McTominay, Fellaini, Matic, and Fred next to him. He has done more because he's technically better. Pirlo was a creator. He's forced to in our team. One thing I don't get me wrong, I like Pogba in it as a player. I do. That's just the observation I had of him. If we can get this tune out of him under Ralph, again, it's a new manager, it's a new start, and it's probably going to change again in the summer. Again, I'm here for it. If Pogba signs a new deal, I'm not going to be outraged. If he signs a new deal and wants to be here and wants to knuckle down, and then the new manager can then say, right, I don't have to worry about this Pogba situation. He signed, and now I'm going to build a midfield around him and get this combative player in next to him and build something else. Great. I just don't see it happening.
So what happens? We lose Pogba. What happens going forward then, Flex? We lose Pogba.
He has to be replaced. No. If we lose Pogba, I'll be honest, Marcel. I'm not one of these guys who are like, oh my God, if we lose Pogba, what the hell are we going to do? That's up to the scouts. You need to go and find. You can't buy a pound for pound somebody who can do the things with a football that Pogba can do at his feet. 100%.
Yeah.
But I look at players like Bernardo Silva who work their asses off in central midfield when he plays there. I look at when Kevin De Bruyne plays there. I look at when and I'm not saying that Mason Mount's better than Paul Pogba, but I'm saying players like this who play in attacking positions like that. Yeah. Sometimes. I know.
But isn't this down to the philosophy, Flex, of the manager?
The system, 100%.
Yeah,
the system needs to facilitate him.
Yeah, Tuchel's also given them philosophy of when we don't have the ball, we behave like this. Pep's been drilling this philosophy into the players for years. If Pogba
played at City, do you think he would be unbelievable because he would play with the intensity and hunting down that Pep would want? Or do you think he would be an issue for Pep because he doesn't run around like how Pep wants his players to?
Nobody is an issue for Pep because then you just don't last. You just quite simply don't last.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you think that would happen and then Pogba would end up not lasting? Or do you think Pep would get him that level of coaching, Pep and Klopp? Like, would Pogba play? I know this sounds stupid. This could sound silly. Would Pogba start for Liverpool? Would Pogba start for Liverpool now under Klopp?
That's a good question because Liverpool have like a workman midfield.
Do you know what I'm saying? None of them, we know it's not based on talent. On talent alone, obviously he does. He's better than Milner. He's better than Henderson. As a talent. But if you ask the Liverpool fan, a lot of them would say, "I'd rather Henderson for my midfield." So,
and I agree, and I would agree with them. I would agree with them. But do I think Klopp can get that kind of workman ethos and attitude out of Pogba? I would say to you, yes.
You think Klopp could get Pogba running around, doing the proper thing,
and also going forward, adding to that part of the game. Do you get it? So I just feel like once he gets that manager that that wants to, because under Mourinho he was playing quarterback passes. That's what Mourinho wanted him to do: stay in that defensive, protect the back four, and play the quarterback passes all the way into Ibrahimovic or into the wide areas, Rashford. So, his game was limited there, and we were talking about why is he not scoring a lot more goals, going forward more. Now under Oli, it's like he doesn't even instruct the players, the front line. Oli wasn't even instructing the front line anything, and in fact, he was playing him on the left, which was just giving me a headache. So we haven't had we haven't seen Pogba as an A, nobody in front of him so that he can occupy the 10 space, and if somebody protecting his defensive faculty, his incapabilities to defend properly. So I don't know. He needs a new manager that can see that kind of part of his game before we condemn him and say, you know what, he can't play and we're happy to see him go. But I do agree with those that say nobody's bigger than the club. That's 100% true.
Yeah, if he doesn't want to sign, see you later. Simple as that.
Yeah,
Simple
see you later. Yeah, 100%.
So Nigel Faraz, to finish off, says Pogba reminds me of Varane, not suited to the Premier League. Interesting. And Red Baron says, I feel for Martial. He's been messed around by so many managers. His best improvement was under Van Gaal. Van Gaal was best for our youth. Interesting point there. Super chat here from Abdullah. Abdullah says, Martial FC has got to be the best FC I've ever seen. And Ben says, you can't change a 29-year-old, maybe at 23. I think that.
Who's he talking about?
Pogba. Talking about Pogba. I don't think Pogba would run around for anyone. I don't. Not at that level. Not how Klopp would want to play. I think he could at City. He might say, "Okay, Rodri, you sit here and do what you need to do." But you know what I'm saying. You can Pogba play just ahead of that with a Bernardo Silva or whatever you want to do with a De Bruyne. But for the balance of it, he still have to work quite hard. But Klopp, I don't think so.
I agree with him, but Thiago Alcantara, he's a bit older. He's come in, has to run around. Yeah. Milner,
he has to run.
Came in.
Milner run around everywhere.
Yeah. So
Wijnaldum was the same, running around everywhere. Naby Keita running around everywhere.
And these are players that would have been in their prime when they come, or just over their prime. So it's a player manager relation. If you believe in what he's telling you, and it's gonna get me results and get me trophies, I will do the job.
Santiago says sadly Pogba would be in a similar situation to Grealish, and Sir Nigel Farrar says Liverpool midfield like McFred, but they control. Yeah, they run around like McTominay and Fred, but they have more control over what's going on. Listen, guys, wicked show. Appreciate it. Marcel, enjoyed that. Thanks for coming on like that, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. It was good.
100%. You're gonna be at the game tomorrow as well, innit?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there, man. I'm looking forward.
Give me a quick prediction for tomorrow's game.
Against Wolves, I can't remember the last time we played them the result, but
1-0, 1-0 this year.
But we had a red card. I think we had a red card in that game. I think was it Pog?
No. Oh, what you mean at Old Trafford?
Yeah, no. Well, we're at Old Trafford this game.
We're at Old Trafford this game. We played them earlier in the season at Molineux, 1-0.
Yeah, we won 1-0 as well.
When Mason had that shot across the goal and it hit the keeper's arm, went in. But they should have battered us.
Yeah, they should have beat us in that game. I'm gonna say 2-1. I'm gonna say a 2-1 win because we need to win games. We cannot accept. It's like we have to be in a Premier League winning form right now just to get to the 4th spot. So we can accept nothing else other than a win. And I would say 2-1. Hopefully Sancho goal and hopefully a Rashford goal, because I need to see Rashford. I need to see
Rashford starting for you, yeah?
Huh?
Is Rashford starting for you, yeah? You starting Rashford? Are you asking for that goal off the bench, bro?
I'm gonna say off the bench. Okay, he can't start.
Agreed.
Right now. He can't start. Right
Wait, there should Bruno start for you?
Yes, he's taken the rest. Hopefully, he's been doing his extra runs. He's a player that is. He cares about the club. He wants to impress the fans. You can tell it means something to him. So
you're starting Bruno straight away?
I'm starting Bruno straight away. He has to come in and play.
Ahead of who? Sancho or Greenwood then tomorrow?
Mason, isn't it? Mason's the younger one out of the two. Sancho's coming into form. I was calling for Sancho to play every single minute of every single game from Southampton time. Yeah, he didn't look too sharp then. He's coming now. He's looking like he's got the flamboyance. Everything is there. Just needs to be a bit more consistent now. So he will play. Bruno should play, hopefully. Maybe even Greenwood up front then. maybe even Greenwood up front, and then Cavani get to
Nah,
rest.
bro, Cavani, Ronaldo got Cavani again straight away, man. Nah. And for me, I said it earlier in the show, so I'm not going to change that. Bruno bench for me, bro. Let him eat bench, man. He's been playing bad. Yeah, I'm saying Greenwood done his thing. You know what I mean? A lot of people disagreed. It was 50-50. A lot of people saying, nah, bring him back in. And some people saying not, but that's what it's about. A lot of love for you in the comments, bro. People who have enjoyed it. Just to finish off, to remind you guys as we come to the end of the show now, vote for your best forward of 2021. The overall rounding winner is Cristiano Ronaldo out of 2.9k votes, nearly 3,000.
Wow.
57% Ronaldo, 1% Rashford, 8% Greenwood, 30% Cavani, and 4% Martial. So there you have it. And just to remind you guys of the winners of the competition, all you need to do is DM the United View Instagram page. The winners are the YouTube accounts Brush, Alpha Eagle, and Manel Manana. I hope I've said that right as well. So yeah, big up to you guys. Come and claim your prizes. Marcel, I'll see you tomorrow, bro, at the game.
See you tomorrow, bro, man.
So you can hear Marcel after the game as well. Guys, thank you everyone for watching. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.